Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
I've never ever seen my dad cry before, and that was the worst day of my life, was watching him cry over Zoom and not being able to hold his hand.
A Minnesota family is challenging a Fargo hospital's policy against allowing visitors. They contacted our whistleblower hotline saying their loved one is undergoing emergency surgery after being diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagaro was there as they were holding up signs determined to get inside the hospital.
Rachel Safar says her dad, Curry Refshaw, is an active guy. Farmer Manoman, he keeps busy.
Dad has always been so healthy and just a rock in our family. I never, ever expected this.
His family says the 52-year-old began losing a lot of weight and experiencing body pains. It wasn't until a recent visit to a clinic where his family got grim news.
And they found that he had a large tumor on his colon, tumors on his liver, and spots on his kidneys, lymph nodes, and abdomen.
His family says when they dropped him off in the emergency room right behind me on Monday, they did not expect that he would be diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, but also that they could not be by his side throughout this difficult process. The diagnosis was a devastating blow.
He's a very strong guy. He's a fighter, and he's trying to stay positive, but he is very scared.
Since the coronavirus pandemic, Essentia Health has a policy barring visitors from their hospitals.
When we question them, they get very defensive.
Sanford Hospital had the same rule up until late May when it began allowing one visitor per patient during business hours. Safar says she doesn't understand why Essentia hasn't done the same thing.
Mental health is crucial in fighting disease, and you need your family with you.
Health experts say stage 4 colon cancer is deadly with a short life expectancy.
And we don't want anybody else in this situation to go through what we're going through right now. We want other people to be able to see their family members.
Safar says her dad always wanted to be a grandpa, and late last year she was able to give him a granddaughter. She hopes he's around long enough to see her grow. In Fargo, Joshua Pagaro, Valley News Live.
Safar says that her dad's surgery was successful and they removed his colon. He must still undergo chemotherapy. In a statement, Essentia says it can't comment on specific cases due to patient privacy, but their policy is in place to reduce the transmission of COVID-19. They add they're continually reviewing their visitor policy. Another person has died with COVID-19 in North Dakota. She was a woman in her 70s from Cass County with underlying health conditions. That brings the overall death toll in the state to 74. 39 more people have tested positive, bringing active cases to 391. 2,515 people are listed as recovered. Minnesota is reporting another 13 deaths from the virus, bringing the death toll to 1,249. Of those deaths, 994 happened in a nursing home or long-term care facility. 453 new cases are reported, bringing the active case count to 3,197. 24,870 people are listed as recovered. There was a chance that some parts of the valley could get rough weather, and there's something out there. Let's get the latest on what we can expect into the evening hours. Hutch is here with a first look at our Wednesday night weather planner. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. As we head into the evening hours, the intensity of these storms has really waned considerably, but in Pennington and Red Lake County right now, we have a decaying thunder shower cluster working its way to the southeast at about 30 miles per hour. Also, in southern Beltrami County, northern parts of Hubbard County, we have some exiting cells there. Not much lightning with them anymore. I think that our risk for severe has significantly reduced this evening. Now, it's cooler in northwest Minnesota, low to mid 60s for many there. Temperatures near 80 degrees in southeast North Dakota. A very nice Thursday evening for most of us with an isolated thunder shower still not out of the question in northern Minnesota, north of I-94. Temperatures in the low 70s by the 8 o'clock hour tonight. As we go into the 10 o'clock hour, we'll see things cool off. Looks like a chilly night, Mike. I'll have details on that, and we'll look ahead to Friday and the weekend here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks. Hutch. A 60-year-old man is in jail tonight after a standoff at a motel in Crookston. It happened at the Gulf Terrace Motel and was originally called in as a domestic situation last night. Police say when they arrived, 60-year-old Joel Fessler was entering his room. The alleged victim told investigators that the two knew each other. Police were also told that he has a history of fighting with law enforcement. Officers were eventually able to take him into custody, but not before using pepper ball rounds and a taser. A North Dakota man is fighting for his life after he was thrown from his vehicle after it rolled. The crash happened this morning along Interstate 94 near Valley City. Authorities say the 34-year-old man from Bismarck took the exit off of the interstate only to get right back on the interstate. And that's when the SUV he was driving went into the median and rolled. The driver was then thrown from the vehicle. The man is at a Fargo hospital and no other information is available. A warrant has been issued for a man facing multiple charges after the recent riot in downtown Fargo. 23-year-old Caleb McCain is wanted for arming rioters, criminal mischief, and attempt to commit simple assault. Police say surveillance video shows McClain throwing rocks at police, breaking into JL Beers, and also trying to break into the cash register there. He was also facing multiple misdemeanor charges. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and legislative leaders announced priorities for police reform and accountability today. It's in response to the killing of George Floyd.
The community is telling all of us what they want. Through conversations with community leaders, through the work that Commissioner Harrington and Attorney General Ellison did on deadly force encounters in partnering with this group and community leaders, by listening to the voices of thousands of Minnesotans, coordinated and powerful set of reforms are ready to go.
Minneapolis Police Chief Medario Arredondo has announced his plans to reform the Minneapolis Police Department, starting by withdrawing from contract negotiations with the police union. Black community leaders are demanding a seat at the table when it comes to policing in Minneapolis. Mount Zion Baptist Church pastor Brian Herron said that they are showing support for the police chief there, and they want him to know that the community is behind him. Pastor Herron said that they're calling for systemic and transformational change at the police department, and they believe that the chief can do it.
And we are gathered here today to show support for Chief Rondo Arredondo. We are here to support him. We are here to let people know that his community is behind him and that we believe in him. We are calling for systemic change. We are calling for transformational change.
Since the death of George Floyd at the hands of 4 Minneapolis police officers, the city has experienced daily protests and demonstrations and a consistent outcry for major police and justice reforms. One of the 4 Minneapolis police officers arrested in the death of George Floyd has been released on bond. Thomas Lane is charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter. His attorney says he asked twice to roll George Floyd over and later performed CPR on him in the ambulance. 2 other former officers are also facing aiding and abetting second-degree charges in that case. Despite no proof or a willingness to answer reporter questions, one Fargo leaders continue to claim Fargo police illegally kept an eye on protesters on May 30th. While Fargo police were unable to discuss the matter today, former Deputy Chief Todd Osmundson addressed the issue during a recent news briefing, saying that the department does have plans in place for every large gathering in the city.
We do ops plans on our St. Patrick's Day parade, our large holiday parade. And yes, we had one on May 30th. There was nothing illegal or devious about that.
We spoke with multiple agencies locally and across the Midwest today who say that they have both operational plans for large events as well as monitor surveillance and traffic cameras to ensure safety, saying it's just part of the job. Later on Valley News Live at 6, like much of our life today, it's not what it used to be. What you'll discover the next time you fly.
Temperatures today warmest south and west, where we saw a few 80s as forecast today. Low to mid 60s across northwest Minnesota. Some volatile weather this afternoon up north. I'll have photos, videos, and your forecast right after this.